Would you like to know how to use the law of attraction or the law of assumption to be permanently leveling up your life? I've been getting lots of questions from people recently where maybe they're understanding how to manifest some things, but they're having this experience where they manifest stuff and then they lose it. And then they manifest stuff and then they lose it. And so I wanted to create a video to help address this issue because it's not something that you have to be experiencing. So I want to talk today about the importance of your higher self and understanding that in order to constantly be leveling up, you need to be moving in the direction of your higher self. And to do that, what you have to understand is that your higher self has infinitely higher standards than you do. Okay, so your higher self has higher standards than you. And so in order to constantly be raising your life and manifesting better results in all areas of it, you have to be consistently raising your standards. And so there's two major ways that this can be done. So I want to talk about that in today's video and make sure to apply them to your life so that you keep going up, 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 rather than the ups and downs that a lot of people experience when they learn about manifestation. Now, if you enjoy law of attraction and law of assumption content, please make sure to go ahead and subscribe to this video and do also turn on your notifications because I do put out content like this every single week. All right, but let's go ahead and get into it. So the first way that you want to be consistently raising your standards is an understanding that you have to have higher standards for yourself. Meaning you have to start to understand that there are no limitations on what you can or cannot achieve, can or cannot do. So let me give you a quick story to help illustrate this point. So one thing that I do a lot is I go to the gym. It's something I talk about a lot on my channel, but I've had a lot of success in going to the gym and in building up a lot of strength. Now, an interesting story about me is right around the time that I started going to the gym, I ended up suffering 3 back injuries, back to back to back, okay? And they really sidelined me to the point where I had to go to a chiropractor regularly. It wasn't getting better. I could barely walk. I was in an enormous amount of pain. But I raised my standards, okay? At one point, the chiropractor told me, there's nothing else we can do for you. You know, the best that we can do is send you on to a surgeon because it looks like you're going to need back surgery. And I remembered thinking that I didn't like that idea and I didn't want to believe in that idea, that my back was broken and needed somebody to fix it. So instead, I decided that anything was possible. I was just going to deal with this and hopefully it would go away. And if not, oh well, but I wasn't going to go to a surgeon because I didn't believe that I needed one. And it was very interesting because within just a month, my back started to improve radically. And I got back into the gym. And today I can do all kinds of things that somebody who was prescribed back surgery should not be able to do. I can deadlift very heavy weights. I can even do back bends. Now, an interesting thing happens sometimes at the gym. People will come up to me and they'll ask me questions about how I stay in such good shape. And not that long ago, this has actually happened several times, but I'm at a new gym and it happened again to me recently, where there was a woman who had seen me stretching and she had seen me doing back bends. Okay, so hands and feet on the floor, back up in the air. And she's like, that's really great that you can still do that. She says, I used to be a gymnast. I was also a cheerleader. I could do all kinds of tumbles and flips and, but today I can't. And she's like, I'm in my late 40s and I'm just too old and I've already injured myself too many times and I just can't do it. And to me, when I hear people say stuff like that, what it signifies to me is they've accepted a limitation. I'm too old. I've had too many injuries. This can't be done. And instead, you want to have the attitude of this can be done. So just like I did with my back, I didn't know how it was going to fix itself or even if it would, but I knew it was possible. And so this is my first piece of advice to you. In any area where you want to see improvement, do not buy into limitations such as I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm not smart enough, I'm not this enough, only men can do that, only women can do that, I don't have enough money for that. Anything like that that tells you why you can't do something is a limitation you don't want to be buying into, because your higher self has much higher standards. Your higher self believes you can do anything. So even if you don't know how you're going to do something, remind yourself, well, my higher self believes it can be done. So this is just a limitation, and I don't want to buy into that. I understand that anything can be done. That's the first way you want to raise your standards. Do not buy into limitations, and certainly don't tell other people about your limitations, because they become even more ingrained within you. Now, the second way that you want to raise your standards is for the external world. Okay, so your higher self has infinitely higher standards for you and what it believes you can do. And it also has infinitely higher standards for what the external world can be. So the external world is just a projection of your consciousness. If you have low expectations, you're gonna manifest low results in your reality. And so one of the ways that you can constantly be on this level up journey is to be consistently raising your standards for what you do and do not accept in the external world. This includes things like stopping things that aren't working for you. So letting go of people, places, things that are below your standards. Meaning, if you're hanging around somebody and they're consistently negative, they're consistently bringing you down, letting that person go. Sometimes people think this is a very toxic thing to do. It's giving up or it's quitting on people. I don't like to think of it that way. The way I would encourage you to think of it is, if something's not working in your environment, just make an intention that I'm going to move away from this, but invite it to meet you there. Meaning, maybe you step away from a friendship that isn't really on the level you want it to be at, but not in a way like, screw you, get out of my life. But instead, as you move away from it, you can think, you know what, if and when he or she decides to meet me on the higher frequency, I'll be there with open arms. So your energy is always inviting things to level up with you rather than hanging in there with things that aren't working. This is a very important thing to do, because if you consistently accept lower quality in your environment, the message that you put out to the universe is, I accept low quality. Low vibration is good enough for me. I'm okay with toxic partners and friendships and jobs I don't like and things that I don't enjoy. I accept that. And so you don't want to be in the habit of accepting it. You don't also want to be in the habit of fighting against it, right? Because when you fight against something, you keep it active. But instead, removing your attention from things that are of a low quality in the external world. And remembering that at any time, any of these things can level up. A person can become infinitely higher frequency, but in order for them to do that, you have to decide, I'm only accepting the infinite higher frequency. And I know he or she could meet me there. So one way that this has expressed itself in my life, way back, okay, when I first started learning about the law of attraction, I used to be a high school teacher. And so this is something I put into practice in my classroom. So as a teacher, it's your job to manage the behavior of students, okay? That's your job, to get them to behave, right? And that can be kind of a tall order. Now, where a lot of teachers end up struggling, and where I struggled at first, was it's very tempting to pay attention to the students who are misbehaving and to get on their case. So pointing out, Johnny, I need you to sit down. I need you to be quiet. Noticing that Johnny's not behaving. Now, if I pay attention to Johnny, that's me on a subconscious level accepting his behavior, because I'm choosing to focus on lower quality results in my environment. What I focus on, I attract more of. So I don't want to be giving Johnny's bad behavior my attention. So instead, when I learned this in my classroom, what I started to do was focus on the kids who were behaving and focusing on the times that Johnny was doing what I wanted him to do. So I would be deliberate to be looking in my classroom for kids doing the right things, kids following instructions, kids saying things that were insightful, kids doing their homework or their work properly, and noticing it and focusing on it. And because I was going to only look and focus on the higher standard, what ended up happening is all of the kids' behavior went up to meet me there. So when I talk to you about not accepting lower standards, it's not about shoving people out of your life in a mean way. It's about, I'm only going to pay attention to you when you bring your A game, okay? Because I know you can do it, and I know it's better for both of us to be on the higher frequency. Now, another question that I've been getting a lot recently from some viewers of my channel has to do with the idea of leveling up and having higher expectations when it comes to manifesting sales. So I'm currently actually in the process of creating a new program to address that specific question. This program isn't for everyone, but if you happen to be somebody who works in a commission-based job, maybe you work in real estate, maybe you're in a call center, or perhaps you run your own business and you have to manifest sales through your business, this program may be very beneficial to you. So if you've been dealing with things like struggling with guilt about charging higher prices, or maybe feeling worried about being rejected or lowballed, maybe you feel that selling people feels awkward or pushy or inauthentic. If any of that's kind of going on, I'd really invite you to go ahead and sign up for the notifications for that program when it goes live so you can see what it's all about and see if it's a good fit for you. I've gone ahead and put the link to get those notifications in the description. Just put your email in and I'll send you information on that program so you can take a look at it when it goes live, which should be later this month. In addition to that, if you sign up for the notifications, I'll also send you a 50% off coupon code for that program for the first week that it goes live as well. Now, in addition to that, if sales aren't your thing, that's okay. I actually have lots of courses and programs on how to manifest results in different areas of life. And if you'd like to take a look at my other programs, I've also put the link to all of my courses and downloads below in the description. I also have a membership program that you can certainly join if you're interested in looking at that. And then finally, if you happen to be new to my work and you want to know for sure that you really are the creator of your reality, I've designed a free 5-minute test where you can prove the law of attraction to yourself. Put something out and watch it come back. And to take that test now, you can go to manifestingtest.com. Again, that's manifestingtest.com. I'll also put the link to that test below in the description, but manifestingtest.com is the direct link. Now, of course, if you haven't yet, please again, make sure to subscribe to this video, like the video, drop me a comment, let me know what you thought about it. But thanks so much for watching today's video on how your higher self has higher standards. And of course, I look forward to bringing you another one soon. Bye-bye.